Okay, how you doing, YouTube? I haven't done a video for a while, so I thought I'd do one. Firstly, we mentioned my phone, which is pretty cool. It's pretty nice. It ain't top of the range, but yeah, it'll do. It does for what it does. I mean, it works well. It does its apps. It's got great navigation features, and it's got it's got a whole shitload of other stuff as well, like call history, camcorders. I mean, it's got all the the bells and whistles that you need for a phone like this. 3 megapixel camera, Bluetooth 3.0. Yeah, I mean, all the major bells and whistles anyway at the time. Quick lookup, Skype on Vodafone, talk setup, settings, places, navigation. I mean, it's just it's got a lot of features. It's not as if it doesn't have a lot of features, and these features are good. They're good features, they're not bad ones. They're not perfect either. I mean, I'll say, to be honest, I mean, probably half of these features are a little dodgy sometimes. But I mean, I think that's to do with the prototype. Like it actually mentions on a couple of the pages of the Android, when you go into the Android OS, that a couple of these things are prototype or beta stage, which that seems logical, and it seems the reason why they might be actually stuffing up the time. So, we can't necessarily help that. Okay, what I also picked up as well, you may not be able to see it. There's a little receiver here, which is a 7.1 surround sound. This is a new headset I got, because my other one went and carked it. It actually broke here, and just broke to pieces. Literally fell to pieces. I'm saying it was a crack. Oh, it's fucked anyway. I'm telling you, most things do break pretty easily these days, especially the design of many of the pieces of crap. Well, some of the crap stuff, but I mean that's pretty. Actually, that one's pretty good. I paid a reasonable amount of money for that one, so. Anyway, got that new headset, this new phone, which is the two products I wanted to show you. Now to go into a little bit in-depth stuff about me and my, what's the word I'm looking for here? My psychological, not that, just, things in general about me. I mean, people only know a certain side of me when they see me on the internet. I mean, they know what I want them to know at a given time, you know what I mean? And, okay, I'm not perfect. I'm a bit of a homebody sometimes. I do like going out. But it depends on my mood. I mean, I don't always go out to clubs because I don't see the point to going out to clubs. I mean, I used to go out to clubs in Wollongong years ago. And it just never really sort of got me wild, to be honest. Most of the time I had more fun on a computer. And I always found the computer more interesting at the time. That seems a little bit boring, but didn't say it couldn't be boring sometimes. In context and essence of itself. Things that I love and hate. Things that I love. Well, there's not many people that don't get along with, to be honest. I mean, things that I love, but people that I like. There's not a lot of people that I don't get along with, except for pedophiles. Can't fucking stand the cunts. What else is there? There's child abusers, animal abusers, and women beaters. Yeah, pretty much those categories. Those are the categories that I don't get along with. Those are the categories I don't like. And those are the categories I'm really. Women abusers, I mean, it's women beaters. I mean, to be honest, just like, I mean, I can understand defending yourself in a given situation if a woman's hitting you over there with a fucking guy hand. Well, there's no, of course, you're gonna have to self-defense. I mean, life is self-defense. I mean, What is it? Yeah, mate. One moment. Ah. Oh, shit me. Okay. There's nothing wrong with defending yourself. Self-defense is a perfectly reasonable attribute and a perfectly reasonable thing for anybody. If you want to defend yourself regardless, there's nothing wrong with that. In my eyes. Whether it be a woman, man, or otherwise. Well, probably not child, so no. But there's nothing wrong with defending yourself. Oh, unless it's a gang of children, to be honest. Right. The point that I'm trying to make is I can't stand pedophiles. They're fucking pieces of shit. The scum of the planet. They literally need to be stabbed. We're just fucking doing it. Be honest. That's how I fucking feel about them, to be honest. You understand? These fucking people, they're just, disgusting, sickening pieces of shit. But yes, I digress. The point that I'm trying to make to you, as the viewer, in context of itself, is simply that I mean, these are the things that I don't like. Now, I don't like backstabbers either. I don't like people who backstab people. Who basically, stab somebody in the back because they're being a particular... Well, I mean, women are notorious for it. I mean, I've got an IBU and other services and things like that. And, I mean, men can be just as bad sometimes, but then men aren't as bad. I mean, men just tend to lie a lot. Let's be honest. That's what I filmed a lot of men on there. And I admit I do defend. I mean, I try to be a defender of women. Or try to be a defender in general of people that, are obviously being wronged or not being looked at the right way, in a given situation. So, ultimately, it comes down to the fact that I think some people, well, I don't know, some people just, they think too much about a given situation. I don't know, it was just sadly. I don't know, I've just come across a bit of drama lately on IMU, which has been a bit annoying, but I'm going to leave it and let it unfold its own self and see how we go. People can do what they like. I do my own thing. I've always been that way regardless. So there's a couple of close mates that actually did unfold with. Good mates that I've known, I've got families for and things like that. And, when it hits close to people you actually know, it's a bit different. You respond a bit differently to a given situation. Saying that, I mean, depends on me. I mean, most of the time I'm pretty good. Well, most of the time I feel pretty great. I just have my down moments like anything else. I mean, I feel like I have my down moments, so I just feel like crap. I'll be depressed. But, I mean, that depression only lasts a certain amount of time before it just goes off into the spectrum. I'm fine after that. It's like anything, I mean, depression, situation. Normally I just try to get out and go for a bit of a walk or something, go and box the boxing bag, stare at the sun and sunbake. I mean, those things are always good, to be honest. They're good for you. I feel sunbaking is sometimes. It can give you good perspective. It gives you a bit of complexion too. What else? I mean, I think, to be honest, I mean, I don't, as of a few weeks ago, I talked to my doctor and I said I was getting side effects from the meds. I said I didn't like the side effects I was getting. I wanted to see if I could lessen them, extensively get rid of them somehow. His words were, and he pretty much turned around and said to me, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll low your dose and see how you go. Test you out. Thought, fuck it, no problem. Sounds good. So he lowered the dose for me on my script, and I went, cool. So I've been on that low dose, and yeah, I've been pretty good. I mean, I haven't been overly depressed. then I haven't been unbelievable. It's sort of it's about the middle ground at the moment. I mean, depending on if I have like a bit of booze or something like that, that might make me a little bit more depressed sometimes, or it might not. I mean, it just depends on my frame of mind, to be honest. I know with me, if I start drinking or if I start having something to drink, if I'm in the wrong frame of mind when I do it, it doesn't always necessarily work for me very well. That's the reason I tend to try to stay around. Well, I try to. It doesn't always work that way. I try to stay around people who are actually happy or, in a good mood most of the time. Most of the time. I can't always necessarily be around people. It depends on me. I don't always go drinking at the club, but I have been a little bit later. Like I've been sort of talking to my sister really to sort of go out with them a bit more and interact with people at clubs and stuff. That doesn't really more logical that way. So, that's more of a Saturday night. I do a bit of internet, drinky poos, pretty much at a, I would say, mostly Friday nights. I just get on piss and just get on the internet and type up random crap and different bits and pieces and stuff. I mean, I think we all spew a bit. I mean, to be honest, when somebody's drunk, I think we all spew a bit of shit, to be honest. I mean, it's always been that way. We always tarnish and spew a bit of shit when we're drunk, I don't know, that's always been my experience anyway. I've always found it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I tend to spew a bit of shit when I'm fucking drunk and stuff, so I've always had that little mentality maybe. Yeah, I'd say that. What else? Well, Xbox. I've got a few new Xbox games. I've also sort of been, helping my family a lot of late with a lot of things and my own business stuff as well. And sort of running that through the hedges and shit. And it's been good. I've been enjoying myself. And plus, I've sort of been trying to get myself to be a bit more independent per se, less reliant on other people. Because I believe it's good for me to be less reliant on other people. As in the end, it gives me more independency and better goals, for the future. And I think that's a logical step. It makes sense. It's not illogical in my mind. And yeah, I'm ready to take that step. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Alright, well, I can't think of anything else at the moment I really have gratefully on top of my head at the moment. I mean, aside from being a little tired, like anything, I think, I think we all, I don't know, I mean, yes, maybe there's one or two times where I said things and I've been drunk and I've regretted what I said the next morning. But there is other times that I've sort of gone, or I've sort of gone, fuck, why did I say that? But then I don't know, most of the time I'm not that regretful because, I mean, I free up a little bit more and I free my inhibitions a little bit more, which I'm thinking. When I have a drink on the weekend and shit. And, it just clears my head a bit more. It makes me think that, there's a certain amount of perspective in there. So, experiment, I guess. I'm far from perfect, but that's life. That's life. I guess in the end, I look at myself and I say, well, I'm trying my best. I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to get there, and I'm doing pretty well, actually, of late. I've actually been achieving a lot of good goals and a lot of good results. I'm doing good things. I mean, the only thing recently I had a bit of a fight with a friend of mine, which wasn't intentional at the time. It was a miscommunication, which, as it came down to it, it was more to do with at the given time it was because I was blocked, but I didn't realise that. Well, I don't know whether it was the case, but on my screen it was showing two different things. It was showing that he'd taken me off his list, and I wasn't sure what he had, and he was annoyed about something else. So, and I guess he was under his own pressure as well, so that didn't help. But yeah, I sort of was not intentionally meaning, but I said things that probably were not the best thing to say at the time, but I was in my defence, at that given time I was drunk, so I said a few things that I may not have necessarily meant, and it was just more an implied. I don't know. At the time, it was just more of a. I wouldn't say it was a joke. It was more of a. It was more of a directed statement. It was like. It was almost like I wanted to make him feel bad about something. You know. I mean, I know that sounds weird, but I mean, not that I do it very often, but I don't know. I was annoyed and pissed off and cranky with him because he'd taken me off, or supposedly, from what I could tell, he'd taken me off. And yeah, so that was pretty much to do with that. But I didn't want to say anything at the time because I was holding back a bit. And I don't necessarily like to hurt somebody's feelings, but when I say certain things, I say some things. I just like to sort of, in some ways, if I'm in a if I'm not in the right mood, I can say things that are quite hurtful, and they can be quite nasty, without intentionally meaning to be nasty. They're just at that given time they are, But I was worried about him at the same time. I was worried about the man, to be honest. I was very worried about him. He just, to me, it was like he was acting unusual from his usual pattern of behaviour. Or I've known the man for 6 years, and his usual pattern of behaviour, to me, had changed. I mean, I know my usual pattern of behaviour had changed, but I know mine had changed. I mean, okay, sure, I didn't explain it to him, but I would have expected a little understanding, I mean, logically, most people in the world have a certain degree of understanding when somebody changes, or changes a pattern of behaviour that they've had for years. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know, as I said, he at the time, I couldn't deal with the change. I couldn't deal with the change because I didn't see the point in dealing with the change at the time, so I just took him off everything at the time and left it sit for a few weeks and just see how it went. Because it just didn't seem like it was reasonable at the time, or it didn't seem like he was being reasonable at the time. Saying that, I don't know. That's what I got from it. And that's how I perceived it. And I got the combos as well. But, I mean, each their own. I mean, we sort of made up and we cleared the air. I apologised for sort of, anything inappropriate at the time that I'd said to him. But I mean, it wasn't at the time. I don't believe it was. It was just misdirected stuff at the time. It wasn't meant to be an intensely hurtful thing if he saw it as that. So I don't know. Just seemed a bit strange, was it? So I questioned the strangeness of it. So, but I don't think there's anything wrong with questioning things either. So, anyway, I'll leave it there now for YouTube. Thank you. Do stay tuned. There's going to be more videos up. I'm probably going to do a couple more product reviews, as well as product reviews on my current repair company, if anybody's interested. Most people know about my repair company regardless. If anybody wants some repairs done in the Canberra area, just give us a call. I'll list the numbers at the end of the video. Cover your repairs, laptops, laptops, desktops, build gaming rig if we need to. Yeah, just general repairs and stuff like that. Yeah. So, there it goes. Also, people need to contact me on Skype. There's probably I got a few details just on Facebook. Not sure if anybody keeps me on Facebook, but yeah, there's a few details listed in there. So if you do need things done, just give us a ring. Yeah, I'd say that. Okay, thank you very much, YouTube. We'll catch up. I have some more reviews and I have some more gaming stuff as well. Haven't played the games for a while. Well, I played Bulletstorm yesterday before, which is when I functioned with damage, which is shit. Really got crap out of damage. Alrighty then, thank you very much, YouTube. Catch up. And before I go, I will show you this little darling that I got. The hunting rifle. It's not a bad device. Carbon blade, well balanced in the sense of being able to swing it and do things like that. Strong at the back, screw and point here. Nice area for this generalization. I mean, it's not actually a bad knife. To be honest, I'm thinking of starting a sword collection. I had a sword recently. I had a sword. I have a sword somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is. It is made in China, though. But saying that, for the blade quality, I mean, for the carbon, you can. This thing is bloody thick. I mean, you're not likely to snap this off. If you stab it into someone, or just as an example, I'm kidding. The point is that you're not likely to, say you stab it into something, animal for instance, something of that description, or something that along those lines, you're not likely to damage it because it's very, very, it's very, 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 very well built. Very, very nice too. Heavy, lightweight as well, which is cool. Also, handle's good too. Nice rich handle as well. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, YouTube. Stay tuned. We're going to have some up and coming videos of different things. So, yeah, pretty much stay tuned, really. Yeah. Okay. Catch you.